Today I'll be presenting Digitally Archiving Nature, 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿 is missing. I want to start with a simple question. What happens when a memorial is no longer fixed but constantly changing? My research looks at 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿 is missing. It's a digital evolving archive of ecological loss, and it asks what art can actually do in a moment of environmental crisis. Here's the question I want you to hold on to. What are we losing and who remembers? We're living through mass extinction, but most of it is slow, quiet, hard to see. Species disappear without spectacle. So I ask, can a digital archive function as an artwork that resists that kind of forgetting? To understand this, think about nature itself as an archive. Tree rings record climate history. Ice layers store atmospheric change. The earth is constantly recording time. Archival art has always dealt with forgotten histories, but here the subject shifts from human memory to ecological memory. Lin's work builds on a longer history. R.B. Warburg created visual atlases of cultural memory, while Rad constructed speculative archive through media. But 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿 does something different. She turns the archive outward, away from human history, and toward the environment itself. The project exists as a website with 5 main sections. About introduces the project, Explore is the interactive map, which is the core of the work. Solutions suggests real environmental actions, what if imagines possible futures, and Share a Memory invites public contributions. So the platform spans past, present, and future simultaneously. I focus on 3 defining characteristics. First, evolution. Second, openness. Third, connectivity. These aren't just features. They shape how the archive works as art. Together, they turn it into something active, not just static collection. First, evolution. This archive is never finished. It keeps growing. As Sven Speaker puts it, archives are sediments of time. They accumulate. In the map of memory, past distinctions, present efforts, and future scenarios all overlap. And there's a strong focus on the future through speculative ideas and practical solutions. Second, openness. This is not a closed system. Anyone can contribute. On Share a Memory, users upload personal experiences of loss. This reflects Okwui and Wez's idea of the archive as socially produced. The project also moves beyond the screen with physical installations and educational materials. So participation extends across spaces. Third, connectivity. The archive links different kinds of material, scientific data, personal stories, visual media. 𝗔𝗯𝘀𝘁𝗿 calls these connections wormholes. They link different times and spaces. This reflects Hal Foster's idea of a flexible collage-like archive. It's not linear, it's networked. But the project has limits. First, technological fragility. It exists online. That means it can decay, become outdated, or disappear. There are no clear preservation strategies, so the archive itself is vulnerable. Second is the problem of authorship. People contribute stories, but they aren't clearly credited. The credit system is incomplete, so there is a gap between participation and recognition. The third problem comes from participation. The project invites users in, but mostly as observers, not as full collaborators, and it's only in English, which limits global access. So its openness is partial. So for the conclusions, digital archives can act as active ecological media. Evolution, openness, and connectivity makes slow loss visible. there's gap between the project's ideals and its structure. Digital archival art is becoming a defining form in the Anthropocene. I'll end with this. An archive doesn't have to be a tomb. In Maya Lin's What is Missing, it becomes something active, something that grows, connects, and invites participation. And in that shift, archiving itself becomes a form of environmental action. Thank you for listening.